threat to people who value freedom and to civilization.
And we're also so uniquely vulnerable in that we do have this sort of democracy. You know, it's obviously heavily influenced by money, but then with the open borders, so you have all these people funneling into the country, and so you have an erosion of confidence in our entire system because people are very aware of that, and the more people are let out of jail after they commit violent crimes, the more people are aware of that. And if you looked at the whole picture, all the things that are in play right now, particularly like with the open borders and giving people plane tickets and flying them to all these different cities, like if I was going to try to destroy the country, that's how I would do it. If I was going to try to destroy the country, I would radicalize the kids. I would give them the stupidest ideas and run them in their head. Boys can be girls. Girls can be boys. Boys can compete against girls in sports if they think they're a girl. Queers for Palestine, the death to the Jews, yell it out unironically on campuses. And to have the presidents of those colleges and universities defend it, which was wild.
Completely.
With cameras on them.
Yeah. It shows how scared they are. It shows how afraid they are of actually calling out what is right and what is wrong.
I think it also shows how they live in a bubble. And I don't think they interact with the real world. And I think when they did, the shock was probably it was probably horrifying to just to realize how most people feel about what they said.
Yeah.
Like, it's not harassment unless it's actionable. Like,
Jeez.
What the fuck are you saying?
Exactly.
You're saying death to the Jews, so you have to kill Jews, and then it's harassment.
Exactly.
Isn't that a little late?
I was shocked, like everyone else, at not only their statements, but how every one of them sitting at that table on that day said almost the exact same thing. And knowing how much preparation, because when people come, I don't care who you are, but when you come and testify before Congress, you go through preparation. And if you're the president of an Ivy League university, you're going to have a whole team of people sitting there telling you, okay, well, here are the questions you should probably be prepared to answer. The question that Elise Stefanik asked was not outside of the realm of like, here's what the frequently asked questions would be.
Yeah.
And the fact that their answers were all the same and how they were smirking as they were giving that answer, I was very surprised by it. Maybe I shouldn't have been as surprised given what they're doing.
I think we're sending our kids to cult camps. That's what I think. I think they get indoctrinated into this. They don't all. Some of them skate through. Some of them are wise. Some of them realize this is crazy.
Right.
Can't wait to get the fuck out of here and get my degree and then go to work. But some of them just get locked in, and then it becomes their identity. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous also because, look, kids don't want to listen, okay? And if you have kids, they don't want to listen to you. They want to rebel. And when they finally get to go away somewhere and be on their own, and your dad's a banker, you're like, fuck that asshole. Capitalism is bullshit. Like, and you're wearing a Che Guevara t-shirt.
Right.
You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're like, just using ChatGPT to answer your homework. Like, the whole thing is nuts. And then you're allowing those young people to just trying out being an adult with a voice and an opinion and trying to be profound.
Yeah. And there's no consequences to actions.
No, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird that people can't see it, and I'm glad that some people are pulling funding.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people that are donors like, hey, fuck you. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And so that's fortunate that there's some sort of a blowback. But, even that woman from Harvard, even though she was caught plagiarizing.
Exactly.
Many times. Like, if you were a grad student, you got caught plagiarizing, that would be a wrap for you. But meanwhile, she keeps making the same amount of money. They just gave her a different job.
Yeah.
They didn't even fire her.
No.
The whole thing's crazy.
It is.
The whole thing's crazy. It's like, that's supposed to be Harvard.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the smartest people amongst us. And when you heard that lady talk, you're like, hey, how did she get to the top? That seems bananas. It seems like you probably had some better choices. Like, was there any other considerations into how she got that gig?
Exactly.
The plagiarism doesn't freak you guys out?
Right.
Like, isn't that like opposed to everything that you stand for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? You're not the best and the brightest anymore. You guys are doing nonsense.
Right.
This is a cult camp. You got a cult camp. You're indoctrinating people. And where are you getting your money? Like, and how much of that money is coming from China? And how much of the influence is coming from Russia? How much of the influence, like, in the past has shaped these people? So you have this system where academics go to school, they learn, they get indoctrinated, and they start teaching, and they never enter into the real world. And they make this cycle. And those are the people that keep indoctrinating more people. And now they're infesting these social media apps, and they're infesting all of these tech companies. And everybody else is like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's all coming from universities. It's coming from the kids that get indoctrinated in these ideologies. And I remember when I first started talking about this in like 2015 or 16, whenever the Jordan Peterson thing was happening, it was Brett Weinstein on Evergreen College. And people are like, why do you care what's happening in these obscure colleges? I go, hey, they're going to graduate.
Yes.
Like when I see fire and it's 5 miles away, I don't go, oh, it's 5 miles away. I go, hey, we got to get the fuck out of here now. Like, get out of here now.
Yeah.
Fire's coming.
Yeah.
Get out. Like, this is, like, you don't see that these kids are going to leave school.
Yeah.
If they're so crazy, they believe that you should have a day where you tell white people they have to stay home. When it used to be that it was an appreciation of people of color. So they could take the day off and they would get paid. And you go, oh, I really miss Mike. You know, I really miss Tanya. It'd be great if she was here. And boy, it's hard not working with her, you know, and doing her job and my job at the same time.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But telling people, white people, they have to stay home and then threatening them with baseball bats if they don't, have people roaming the parking lot with bats. When I saw that, I was like, this is crazy. And so many people were saying, why do you care? Well, they're going to go out in the world. And if this is happening there, it's not an isolated situation. It's happening to other people. And then the Jordan Peterson thing in Toronto. And like, okay, guys.
Yeah.
And now everyone is sort of realizing, like, oh, this is a real problem. This is infesting the world. This ideology is pervasive. And it's not well thought out. This is not just like fact-based, objective assessment, being kind and understanding and taking into account all the variables.
Yeah.
No, it's like a cult.
Yeah.